Hey, we're back with our first adventure of the evening, one which I have entitled, What's Yours is Mine. But before we get into it, as always, we're going to take a brief moment and introduce our heroes. So first up, we have joining us tonight, and forgive me if I pronounce your last name wrong here, but we have Misra de lacard. Did I say that correctly, Misra?
That's correct.
Misra, it is wonderful to have you joining us again this evening. So tell me, how have you been?
Other than I'm still looking for that damn skeleton, I've been a little annoyed.
Annoyed? Why is that?
I'm here and not at home in my proper place, and I have technically no money, and I'm running from my life because that stupid skeleton, and I think a certain good-for-nothing wizard, no, I can't blame the wizard, it was the skeleton. That stupid skeleton, the stupid skeleton basically framed me for something, so every time I go into a couple of towns, they basically think I'm a wanted criminal.
That is not a good situation to find yourself in, Misra.
It's not.
So honestly, you said that you were a little bit annoyed. I feel like that's actually pretty impressive considering how tough. I would be downright angry if I was in your position, Misra.
I put it to you this way. I'm keeping my feelings in check.
All right. Well, I admire your what's the word? Your control over your temperament, Misra, and it's good to have you back joining us tonight.
Pleasure to be here.
Of course. We also have joining us tonight, here we haven't seen in some time, we have Sweet Toof with us again. Good evening, Sweet Toof.
Hello. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Sweet Toof, how have you been?
You know, fine, eating snow cones, frolicking in the Laffy Taffy mines.
Of course.
Where, Grandpa disappeared 20 years ago. It's all good, though.
Wait,
one of these days, we're going to find him.
Wait, who disappeared in the mines 20 years ago?
Grandpa did.
Your grandfather, that seems like just such a dark thing to casually throw out right now.
Oh, like no, it's all good. We know he went to the cloud. He became one with the cloud.
Oh, he's one with the cloud. I understand, yes. How have the snows been? Have there been a lot of ice cream flurries this time of year?
It's been delicious.
A good season.
Yes. It's ripe for the plucking. Right from the great big cloud, of course.
And Sweet Tooth, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, how's the family?
Well, I haven't seen brother in a while. He kind of went off and did his own thing. I haven't seen him, and, Mom and Dad have been getting stronger, so I figured it was time for me to get there, too.
Yes, I know that your parents often do some adventures without the kids to try and, make sure they're strong enough to protect you, but at a certain point, everyone has to get out on their own.
That's right.
Well, Swee. Do you prefer Sweet Tooth, the whole name, or do you just like Swee?
Swee works.
Swee. Welcome back. It's good to have you again, Swee.
Always a pleasure.
Next up, we have joining us tonight a Gallinodal, but a Gallinodal that we've seen, I suppose we've seen you before. I know, Adrien, from what I've heard, you participated in the recent Carnival of Souls event, where you were one of many who was struck down by the mansion of Torfus Fromladuke. But Adrien, this is your first, I think, truly official adventure as a hero in Bartholomew's shop, so welcome.
Yes, thank you for the invitation, Pete.
But of course. So, Adrien, I haven't had the opportunity to really get to know you yet. So would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself? What brings you to the lens of DnDTime? What you kind of bring to the table as an adventurer?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I spend a lot of time playing role-playing games, and I really enjoy DMing for my close group of friends.
Who do you DM for? Or do you have just a group of friends that you know, or do you DM for some of your siblings? Or
well, currently I'm trying out this new thing. It's where I go out and I DM for other people and other creatures and stuff. So we're gonna try that out.
Yeah, well, I hope that goes well for you, Adrien. I'm not entirely, I've been kind of playing along, but if I'm being honest, I'm not entirely sure what this role-playing game is. Is this like a board game?
Kind of. It's more like a tabletop role-playing game.
Okay. So you do role-playing, and then you DM. What does DM stand for?
It's like Dungeon Master.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to I'll have to learn a little bit more about this. Maybe I'll research it in some of my downtime. But Adrien, what do you bring? What's like your adventuring skill?
Role-playing.
All right. I look forward to seeing how that's able to help you out. So you must be like a bard.
No, I'm a wizard.
All right. I guess we'll see. Adrien, it's good to have you joining us tonight. Welcome.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have joining us this evening, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is also your first adventure, Sparky?
Yes.
Hello, Sparky. How are you this evening?
Hello. I'm okay.
So Sparky, as this is also one of your first adventures here in the lands of DnDTime, why don't you also tell us a little bit about yourself? What brings you here, and kind of what your skill set is?
Well, Mr. Throne told me that I should try this because I think I've blown up a few too many of his things.
Oh dear. So you were a friend of Throom, the one who shrugs off death, of course, one a revered adventurer here in the lands of DnDTime.
Yeah, he kind of took me in a little bit.
So you say that you blew up a few too many of his things. Do you work with flames or explosions?
Well, my magic sometimes is not the most controlled.
Can get a little
That's
bit
why I
out
have
of your
this
hands.
box.
Have this box, you said?
Box. And he holds up Nexir, his arcane focus that is a stuffed fox.
That is absolutely adorable. I'm glad that you have this companion at your side to help you kind of control your magic.
Yep.
Well,
a bit.
A bit doesn't sound as promising as I was hoping. As even with you said Nyx, if I'm not mistaken, even with Nyx, a Nyxir. Even with them by your side, are you still kind of having some control issues from time to time?
I'm learning still.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Well, everyone has to start somewhere. I imagine if you continue to adventure here among Bartholomew's adventurers troop, you'll have more and more opportunities to hone that control.
That's probably good.
Well, Sparky, I'm glad that you're able to join us this evening, and without further ado, let's hop into our adventure. The four of you find yourselves traveling to the far western reaches of the lands of DnDTime, a region known as the Frontier. And you are sent there at Bartholomew's behest in order to meet up with an individual named Shiny Buttons. Apparently, he's having some financial troubles and needed your help with a mining prospect that he has. From what Bartholomew told you, he's a relatively noteworthy prospector in the region at a mine called the Sunshine Mine that he recently acquired in a part of the frontier region called the Golden Hills. And Buttons, from what you understand, was pretty secretive about this kind of meetup and what he needed out of you. And where we officially begin, you guys, it's relatively late. It's relatively late at night. He is kind of, from what you were told, waiting for you on like the outskirts of the mine. There's some like old mining equipment over on the side, diggers and kind of rigging devices and kind of old piles of support beams that haven't been used to kind of get the mine working and excavated yet. And he wanted you to be pretty secret, apparently, about your arrival there. And he's just kind of waiting for you to give you some more details once you arrive. So now where we do officially kind of hop into our adventure, it's late at night. The four of you are walking to the point where you were supposed to meet up. There is kind of an observation tower. This looks like it was this whole area with all of that old mining equipment. It looks like it was something of a miner's camp at one point, but it's been pretty much cleared out. So there's an old kind of observation tower for something of an overseer to look down over it. That was specifically the area that he told you to meet up in. You guys have arrived and you're standing up in that observation tower, but he has not appeared as of yet. And that is where we officially begin. As you're kind of coming into the space, what would you all like to do? Right now, you're just kind of waiting.
I wonder why he had us meet up here so late in the evening.
I'm missing out on Beatty sleep. Where is he?
It's kind of dark. And Nexer just casts light down on the neck. Sparky just casts light down on Nexer.
All right, your stuffed fox begins to kind of glow brightly, and the light kind of pours out over the sides of the observation tower here. And as soon as that happens, you could kind of hear some footsteps from below, and you hear a voice coming from the side of the tower, where the ladder to climb up it is. And you hear a voice goes, "Tarnation, go on, put out that light! We don't want anyone drawing any attention. Look like a beacon up there. Get rid of it. Put it out."
Aww, but
How
it's
high is
so
this tower?
cute.
How high is what?
How high is the tower?
The tower's about 20 feet tall. It's just kind of like a loose wooden construction, just to give a little bit of an overview of the camp. And that voice, you see the person that it belongs to pretty quickly, as reaching up and poking their head up over the kind of side, and they can now kind of look into the tower. You see the figure of presumably your contact, Shiny Buttons. You see he has an old kind of like miner's prospector's hat on with a light that is currently off. He has a big bushy beard and kind of a long mustache that curls outwards. And he's kind of slung over his back. You can see a large backpack, as well with what looks like a mining pick and a shovel that are kind of crisscrossed over the back of it. And he looks up, "Like I said, put something over that light there. You're going to let the whole area know that we're here. And we ain't supposed to be here." He's looking up at you, Sparky. Do you do anything?
No, Sparky just kind of tries to cover it with his arms as much as possible.
When our contact goes in, I put a face mask on because I might catch that Keystone virus. Gotta watch out for that.
Yes, there has been noticeably a pretty dangerous virus has been spreading around the area lately. So everyone's a little bit more cautious than normal. A lot of hand
All
sanitizing
precautions must be taken.
Yeah, absolutely. But Shiny Buttons kind of pops up. This individual doesn't seem to be taking any precautions. As they pop up, there's kind of a thin layer of like dirt and almost like coal dust that seems to be over their face. And they say, "All right, now, glad the four of you are able to make it out here. My name is Shiny Buttons. Who the four of you?"
I'm Misra, you're dirty. I'm going over there next to the cute boy with the cute stuffed fox.
"Well, that seems a little bit rude. Shiny Button doesn't have a lot of opportunities go down and bathe with working in the mines, but I guess if you're going to just open with your dirty, nice to meet you, Misra. Rest of you?"
I am Adrien. If you don't mind, I can help you out with your dirty situation.
"Yeah, I don't particularly mind one way or the other."
Very well. Presto!
Dirt's part of the job. You prestidigitating him?
Yeah, but as part of the verbal component of the spell, Adrien is describing, you reach into your pocket and take out a magical cloth, and you instantly are able to clean all of the soil off of you.
Wait. So you're saying that Shiny Buttons just has a magical cloth now?
Yes, you didn't know this cloth here, and he kind of like pulls a cloth out of his sleeve.
Oh,
A magical cloth.
So I just take this thing and I put it on my face so it'll get rid of all the dirt?
Yes, absolutely.
Ain't I gonna ruin your nice cloth?
No, not at all.
All right, you say so. He kind of takes it and wipes it on his face. And I imagine by the magic of prestidigitation, all of the dirt just immediately disappears from all of Shiny Buttons.
So that's 2 castings of prestidigitation. 1 to create the napkin and 1 to clean, of course.
Yes, naturally. And he goes, "What? Can I keep this thing? That's incredible."
As you wave the cloth in the air, it disappears.
Well, I was kind of excited about that, but I guess that's all there is. I guess that's all there is to it. Well, that's a bit strange. All right. Well, my name's Shiny Buttons. Like I said, I didn't catch either of you, little lizard guy, and you the one with the stuffed fox?
No,
I'm
I don't have a stuffed fox.
No, the
Unless
other
it's
one. The
stuffed
other one.
with meat.
No, you're the little lizard guy. The other one's got the stuffed fox. Anyway, he's looking down at you now, Swee, and he's just hoping for you to introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Swee.
Yeah, nice to meet you, little Swee. And you there? Looking at you, Sparky.
I'm Sparky, and he holds the fox out, completely forgetting that he's supposed to have it covered. And this is next year.
It's nice to meet both of you. Introductions are very important. That's one of the great minor, well, not one of the great minor sayings, but that's one of the minor sayings, is that you got to make sure that you do introductions well. So without further ado, well, actually, I'm sorry, I was starting to lose control of my voice. I got to be whispering because we're on a secret mission this evening.
It's a secret.
As you begin whispering, the light on the fox goes out.
What? He said it and it happened. Does the light on the fox go out?
No.
Do you have a way of doing this? In addition to DMing it, I do need you to tell me what action you're taking as well.
So it says that you can light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire. Would that also turn off the light spell?
I don't think it would. You could make a cloth appear over it to block the light. But that magic is controlled by Sparky, so you'd have to.
Oh, I know magic too. And I pull out this crusty, covered in little pieces of candy cloth, and I put it on the stuffed fox. Here you go.
He goes, all right, good. Now that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that we're going to need if we're going to, magic's kind of why I hired you, because I figured Shiny Buttons don't do a lot of magic, but I figured for you kind of adventure types do all sorts of tricks in the trade, and it looks like I was correct in my intuition.
And as I do that, I go up to Sparky and go, he looks like he could use a blanket with snacks.
You know, I think that this calls for a DMPC. 1 second. Hello, it is me, Boris. How are you, Shiny Buttons?
Oh, wait a minute. There's something familiar about you. Not entirely sure what it is, but it seems like I might know about you. I knew
Just
Boris.
for giggles. I want to see if I can see through it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely see through it also because you saw him do it, so you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you advantage on the situation. But Shiny Buttons goes, I didn't know you were the person that you were. If I'd known who you were, I would have maybe acted a bit differently. Well, you see, let me go ahead and get you up to speed on what. Sorry, I got carried away again. This secret mission. Let me get you up to speed on what the deal is for the evening. You see, I opened a relatively productive mine from here. There's, the way I estimate it, and he kind of points over yonder to some hills, he goes, there's gold in them there hills. So I staked out to make myself something of a mine. We called it Sunshine Mine. It was pretty productive, but unfortunately for me, I was unable to produce any significant results. I have not found an iota of gold. found some other stuff, plenty of iron, some coal, things like that, and I'm confident there's gold down there, but I ain't found any of it yet. And the bank that I took out a loan from in order to open it, well, they'd come to collect, and I was sort of planning on using the gold from the mine to pay back the bank for the loan, and now the bank's done repossessed my mine, so I can't get any money to pay back it, so I'm in an immense amount of debt.
That does seem like a problem.
Well, yes, it does, Mr. Boris. Yes.
I don't know if Boris can help financially with this situation. By the way, what happened to your blue suede shoes?
Well,
these ones? And he just kind of reaches into his bag and pulls out some blue suede shoes. Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of heavy and they shine a little bit. I don't know. I don't like wearing them. I just prefer my old loafers. As he pulls out two boots that look like they're made of just solid diamond, and then puts them away. But he kind of continues on a little bit here, and he goes, so that's what I was thinking. I know there's gold down there, and I thought I'd take a few of you to go in, maybe sneak past a few of those bankers that are in there assessing the whole value of my hard work, and get some of that gold out. See, technically, I'm not supposed to be in there anymore because it's no longer quote-unquote my mine, but I gotta get the money out of it so that way I can pay them so I can get my mine back. So I'm just sneaking in the mine with me. We're gonna mine us some gold, we'll find it, bring it out, pay the bank. I'm gonna have myself a little bit of a hold-down celebration party.
Well, in the Big Rock Candy Mountains, we mine for butterscotch. It's delicious, buddy. And it's kind of gold.
Oh, that ain't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the shiny stuff, solid gold.
Well, butterscotch is shiny.
Yeah, but kind of like a food, and I don't know, like, I wouldn't mind butterscotch. Got nothing against it. I enjoy a good butterscotch root beer, but ain't gold. Shiny Buttons kind of begins. All right, y'all ready?
Always.
All right, and he just kind of turns around and silently, remember, secret mission. We ain't supposed to be there. They find out I'm there, I'm going to get in all heaps of trouble. And he turns around and climbs down the ladder and begins kind of hot-footing it over towards where the entrance to the mine is. Anything you guys want to do, or do you just kind of follow along behind him?
Yeah, follow along stealthily.
Follow it along.
Yeah.
This was rumbling, but following along.
Stealth checks?
Yeah, in that case, I was going to say, please give me a nice round of stealth checks.
Is there something that I can do to help us with our stealth checks? Is there like a sound that I can make?
Oh, it's so good at the stealth. The stealthiest of the stealth.
It looks like you actually are generally pretty good at it, but a crit fail ain't gonna do it for you. But it's a group check, so if everyone else does well, then you might still be okay. Shiny Buttons is also not particularly stealthy. He's gonna roll flat. Oh, he did pretty good though. Oh wow! Despite your crit fail, Sweet Tooth, everyone else passed. So,
I'm the stealthiest.
Sweet Tooth, as you're walking along, you keep seeing things in the wall, and they're kind of like glinting and glimmering a little bit. They look like this mine has like emeralds and like diamonds and stuff in it over on the walls, and you keep thinking they're candy.
I'm totally gonna like stab one and try to eat it.
Yeah, and that sound makes a lot of like clinking and clattering, and as soon as you slam into it, you just hear you hear kind of Shiny Buttons look over at you and go, "Don't go touching those things. Those aren't edibles. Those things are worthless. Come on, we gotta go find the gold."
I start chewing on one.
It is
crunchy but not delicious.
Yeah, it is not very good, and also, Sweet Tooth has probably some powerful jaws. I think diamonds might actually be. This thing's harder than the hardest jawbreaker you've ever seen in the Big Rock Candy Mountains.
It's not sweet. This is no good. It's horrible.
Garbage.
Tastes like dirt.
Throw it away. But
I'm picking up and pocketing any few stragglers I can get a hand of.
All right, yeah, you just grab onto some diamonds. Definitely some help with your funds problems that you've been having, I imagine. So Buttons kind of walks over to the edge of the edge of the mine here, and kind of stops and looks back to you. All right, mine's in here. We're going to be going in and down. I had some, I was thinking I was getting pretty close to some of that stuff. You know what I'm talking about, the shiny ones. But I hadn't found any yet. Couple of signs, though. So I think I know where to go. Need you guys to maybe distractify or otherwise make sure that some of the prospectors and investigators here don't notice us. Y'all think you can handle that?
Oh,
Did you just say distractify?
Can I?
I'm not going to deny it.
Can I see any of the prospectors that he's talking about?
Go ahead. Are you just kind of looking deeper into the mine and starting to peer around the corner? You guys are like on the outside of the entrance into the mine.
Doing a look around.
All right. Yeah. You go ahead and make me a perception check.
I'll do the same.
Yeah, you're not particularly noticing anything. You peer down the corridor and it's dark, but with your you have dark vision. You're an elf, of course, right? Half elf.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So you're not able to see anything immediately. Neither can you, Sweet Toof, as you kind of look around the corridor. But yeah, that's it. It's dark. You can notice that the mine is very well patterned and organized. You can see there's also really like overkill looking support beams at every single kind of regular interval holding this mine up. But
like a meter thick.
Yeah, they're outrageous. It's like he just took whole trees and was just putting whole logs up to hold up the mine rather than just like putting together solid planks.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, as you're looking in, Shiny Buttons goes, "All right, is the coast clear?"
Yeah, it's dark in there.
All right, you lead the way. Might want to maybe get a little bit of that light, cover it up. I got some torches if you prefer, but your light seemed better than mine.
Yes, maybe place a few torches.
Yeah, we got wall mounts for those. I can put them in if you want. You begin stepping forward and into the mine. At the moment, Shiny Buttons was kind of looking for one of you guys to lead the way. So who would like to kind of take the vanguard here?
I'll go forward.
All right, Misra, you choose to take the lead as you're kind of watching. You have dark vision as well, don't you?
Yes.
Very good. All right, yeah. So you're kind of leading the steps. Shiny Button's got a torch up in his left hand, and he's kind of holding it up. Occasionally, he'll just place one down on the wall sconces and stuff. And then he kind of actually takes it back out and goes, "Actually, don't want to leave any traces. We were here. Let's just continue. We'll take it. If you hear anything or see anything, make sure you tell me to put out the light." And sure enough, Misra, as you are kind of at the foreground here, you can hear some discussion further up ahead. And it sounds like as you continue to move down the mine's sort of twisting corridors, it sounds like there are a couple of individuals that are walking, coming in the opposite direction, essentially leaving the mines, having very, very light conversation up ahead. They're going to be rounding the corner maybe in like 30 seconds or so, based on the pace that you're kind of moving and they're kind of moving. What would you like to do, Misra? You're the first one to perceive this.
I basically whispered that we got company coming. This would be a good time to, I don't know, probably, hold on. No, I don't have anything, at least not for this. We got company coming. Is it possibly someone could, looking over at Boris, you think you can press the digitation and make us look like a bunch of rocks?
I actually have the perfect situation. Looking around, you suddenly see several support beams to hide behind, or maybe even inside of the support beams.
All right, so you
I'm gonna try climbing up the wall.
Sweet Toof, so you're gonna go and kind of climb up and get behind one of the actual support beams?
Yes, like I'm gonna try to climb up. and on the roof and just hold on so I can like pounce on them.
All right, I would like you to make me an athletics check. This is both. Oh my goodness! You climb up and just you just sink your claws. You find like a nice bit of not stone but kind of like soft dirt in the ceiling, and you sink your claws and dig in, and you are just gripping to the ceiling like a spider, ready to drop it at a moment's notice. Also, you hear a bunch of like extra sets of support beams. You see them just kind of appear along the walls, and you watch as... are you hopping into one of them, Adrien?
Yeah.
Or Boris at the moment? You watch as Adrien, disguised currently as Boris, pops into one of these support beams and just kind of disappears into it. Shiny Buttons quickly follows suit. Are you making... how many of them are you making?
I think I can have 3 up.
In that case, there's room for Misra or Sparky to hop into one of these as well, if either of you would like to.
Misra sighs. I didn't want to do this now. Form change. She's a shape of the fox.
Oh.
And she's small enough to get under there behind Sparky.
Okay, great. So you guys are going to kind of share. You guys are going to share one. Awesome. All right. So Sparky, you going to hop onto the support beam?
Yes.
Yeah, great. All right. In that case, you are all hidden, and these footsteps kind of come around the corner. And as they do so, you can hear the 2 individuals discussing things. One of them looks like an appointed guard. They're wearing kind of a simple helm and carrying a spear. The other one is dressed more like a noble. They are kind of carrying what looks like a simple scroll as well as a couple of texts, and they're kind of like writing on the scroll in their hand as they're walking and discussing things. And they're going, and as they kind of pass by, you overhear their conversation. Yes, the prospector was a bit of a character, but he was no fool. It seems that this place is it's going to be quite a lucrative acquisition for us. The guard kind of replies, "Yeah, but what about that thing down there? I don't know if I can take that, or really anyone in my company can." The guy the merchant replies, "We'll bring in experts to deal with it. It shouldn't be too expensive. I don't know what Bartholomew's going rate is for monster removal at the moment, but worst case scenario, we can bring in some mercs for it." And they're kind of continuing. This is the exact moment where they're walking by, and as they are, these support beams are placed in perfectly regular intervals. So where you've put the support beams now, it is a little bit conspicuously like this section is a little bit different. So I'm going to roll to see if they're able to know it. This guy's fairly intelligent, so he has a +2 to this. But they pass by without kind of any registered comment or anything, and they walk past all of you who are currently, I imagine, just holding your breath and waiting for them to move onwards. And as they pass, their conversation sort of continues. The guard goes, "Regardless, I've told my men to begin kind of setting up a camp up ahead. If we're gonna assault this thing, we need to make sure we have a good place to fall back on. So they should have the fortifications ready by morning." And the banker replies, "Excellent news, excellent news. We were very, very fortunate in this acquisition. We are going to make an immense amount of money." You can hear Shiny Buttons in the illusion next to you kind of grit his teeth a little bit at the thought of his gold being taken. And Sweet Toof, you're in the ceiling. You mentioned wanting to drop down on them. They're passing by without anyone seeming to notice, but if you would like to, you can still do what you're going to do. What's your play, Sweet Toof?
Absolutely.
All right, what happens?
I'm gonna jump from the support, sword in hand.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm gonna go, Spider!
Go ahead and yep, there it is. I was gonna say, go ahead and make me an attack roll. Who are you attacking?
Okay,
Are you
and because I'm the banker.
Okay. In that case, you have advantage, so go ahead and roll again to see if you crit.
To say, oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, you were an unseen attacker.
Once I gotta do. I've okay, and now.
All right, 4 points of piercing damage. That's okay.
Well,
Oh Jesus.
yes.
Also, you might want to disconnect and reconnect to Discord because you're getting a little bit staticked out, Plunder. But for now, you watch. You guys all are kind of looking in from the illusions, and you can't really see because the illusions are opaque. You can't like see out from them necessarily. So you just see. You just hear the sound of Sweet Toof calling out. What was it that you said about spiders?
Lucky.
You hear that, and then jumping down off the ceiling and stabbing into. You kill this banker in a single strike as you stab into them with your short sort of sweetness. They fall to the ground, and the guard kind of just calls out surprised, "Oh God!" Oh, and readies a spear. That was the surprise round. I'm going to let him roll for initiative, but if he rolls low, I'll just say you all get a chance to act, because I don't think this one guard's going to be able to do much against the four of you. But we'll see if he gets a chance to act. 11 is not a critical success. So what do you guys all do as you see Sweet Tooth, or hear Sweet Tooth jump down and just obliterate this noble?
I don't know if you saw my abilities, but I want to step out and change my illusion so that it causes the sound and the look of the tunnel collapsing in on this guard.
Okay. So you're trying to make, like, you're making the pillars look like they're cracking, is the idea? The ones that you created there?
Yeah, not only that, but like that there are rocks like falling down towards him, and my intent is that like
that's probably a little bit outside of the realm of minor illusion, in terms of like you can change the nature of your illusion, but like using an action to like you'd have to like do every single thing individually, so you can't just all of a sudden do like mind collapse. It would have to be like a really methodical one at a time thing.
Yeah, so like the pillars giving way and the sound of the tunnel rumbling, because I can do sound.
Yeah, that you can do. So you make that kind of like rumbling sound, and the pillars that you kind of created illusory are beginning to like shift and look like they're breaking a little bit as you do this first one. And he kind of like looks around confused. I mean, he's still like terrified by this tiny lizard man that just killed his boss, and he looks over at the rest of you, or he doesn't see. You said you stepped out, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, he's seeing now this like strange ambush. What are the rest of you doing as this happens?
Dang it. I need to check something, because I'm about to be kind of evil.
Oh, jeez. Well,
Kind of
you won't be the first one in this encounter.
No, I won't be. Dang it, what's the range of this thing attack?
Well, while you figure that out, Sparky, what do you want to do?
Sparky's just gonna
Sparky's fine?
poke his head out a little bit so that he can see, but just kind of hide.
Fair enough. Sparky, you continue to hide. Alright, yeah, Misra, what's the play?
I want to cast Infestation, but I think that's going to...
Infestation?
Yes. But I think that's going to catch Sweet Tooth, isn't it?
Nope, I believe you can target one creature with that. So they're going to make a Constitution saving throw, right?
Yes, hold on, I'm pulling it up. There you go.
One creature you can see in range.
So a 10, is that going to succeed?
That is going to fail.
All right, and then go ahead and roll me a d4, as well as the d6 for the damage.
You. B4.
So they're going to run north, which is from where I kind of decided that's the direction of you guys. So this guard actually turns around and begins running deeper back into the mine as this infestation appears, and you watch as insects and small kind of critters begin to bite at this guard's skin as they take 2 points of, is it piercing damage or necrotic damage? Poison damage. Take 2 points of poison damage and begin running deeper into the mine. They're right up next to you at this point, Adrien.
Wait, since I jumped down, was that banker and that guard side by side?
They were. Oh yeah, the forced movement does not provoke opportunity attacks, unfortunately. So they are, but also Sweet Tooth, you have another turn. So it's your turn now. The guard's next. If you want to do something.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Yep, that's definitely gonna hit.
Oh, and because of my subclass, by the way, I get this right here because there's no other one within 5 feet of me. Booyah!
Well, actually, there was within 5 feet of Adrien, but you got it either way. So it does not matter. 17 points of, oh my goodness, that's 17 points of damage. This guard also is killed. As you.
My name is Sweet Tooth. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
As they're running around covered in bugs, and then you just run up behind and stab them, Shiny Buttons kind of steps out from behind his pillar and is looking at the group of you, and is just like, all right, well, Shiny Buttons didn't think that's how that's gonna go. Seemed like we kind of nice and quiet like, just let them slip right past, but here we are, 2 dead bodies in my mind.
I'm gonna search the pockets. I want the shinies.
So, Sweet Tooth, at our table, usually we don't tolerate just murder hoboing. So if you could tone that back a little bit, Sweet Tooth.
They're taking this mine from its rightful owner. I'm just trying to get it back for him.
Well, we're gonna brush this one under the table, sorts. So, why don't you go and get rid of those 2 bodies? And those are just sort of regular folks. Maybe a little bit corrupt, but regular folks. So why don't you go on and get rid of them bodies, and we'll keep going, and I'll pretend none of this there happened, and they won't be none the wiser.
I'm gonna chop their hands off. I heard about these. The handwiches, yeah. See how these taste.
Well, you do that. I won't hear nothing about it. You do what you got to do. You grab yourself some. Gold. They had some loose coppers and silvers and stuff. The more politician had a really fancy looking silver seal. That he was carrying as a notary. So that's kind of cool. That's the most cool looking thing that you find on their person.
Sweet Tooth, let me have no. Let me have that. Trust me, it'll all make sense in a minute. I'll give it back. I promise.
Okay, as long as I can have it back.
Yes, you can have it back. I promise.
Shiny Buttons walks over to you, Sparky, and goes, "Can I hold that fox for a minute? I kind of need a hug."
You want a hug? I'll give you a hug.
No, that's cool. I was talking to this fella. It looks at you, Sparky. What do you say?
He just kind of holds out next year. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Shiny Buttons gives your stuffed fox a hug, hands it back to you, and goes, "All right, I feel a little bit better. Let's keep moving."
Before we do anything else, I cast. I use Mask of Many Faces, and I transform into the and I make myself look like the banker.
Oh god.
Oh, excellent. So you also disguise yourself, taking on the appearance of the kind of manager of this mine in a lot of ways now. I'm
going to put the baker's clothes on.
You're tiny, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm medium. I'm medium-sized.
Oh, okay. I always pictured Sweet Tooth as very little because of your picture.
He's a hefty boy. He just looks like that.
All right. So
just
you're now
bigger.
there's now the banker and this lizard that's also dressed the exact same as the banker.
Yes.
As you guys kind of continue forward into the mines, Shiny Buttons now kind of like going like, all right, I'll lead the way. Y'all follow my lead. On this next one, sounds like, I don't know if you're listening, sounds like there's a bunch more guards up ahead. So
yes,
let's try
which again, I have the voice of the banker, which I will take care of. So no more stabby, swipey.
That's what I was sort of getting at.
That's
That'd
necessary only.
that'd be the best case scenario for me, Shiny Buttons, and what my goals are.
You just let me do all the talking.
Yes, I'm okay.
You know what the miners always say, killing in the mines, bad every time. That's one of the minor sayings. Well, let's go. And he keeps kind of chugging along through the mud, with now you in the lead, disguised as this kind of official here from the bank. And sure enough, following the instructions, you kind of come to an area up ahead. Shiny Buttons kind of whispers to you, all right, this is sort of where the mine's gonna come to an end. I dug down a bit, built out kind of like a whole sort of cavern. As I was trying to spread, I was thinking the goal was probably close. So this is where we're gonna be wanting to dig once we find it, but also it's probably where them guards are. And sure enough, yeah, you can see lights up ahead. It's well lit. There are a number of like torches on the walls, and you can hear the gruff and muffled conversation of that guard battalion that was probably being referred to before.
I am going to use malleable illusions to change my disguised self to change from Boris to the guard.
Oh, great. So you do the so you guys now are, except for Sparky here, who I don't think, do you have disguise self as well? Can you join the disguise self club?
No.
I have a disguise kit that if you want me to, I can totally do.
Well, regardless, for now, you have Swee Toof, who's a Lizardfolk in that banker's clothes, and then Misra and Adrien, who are disguised as the guard and the banker, and you guys are rolling up on this kind of little garrison here in the mine. What do you all want to do?
I'm gonna go up to the garrison and basically tell them that they need to leave. We got Bartholomew's men coming to take care of the problem, so to speak.
Guard the entrance.
Yeah, guard the entrance.
Okay. You walk up to the guard, and one of them comes forward, and are you also walking up, Adrien?
Yeah.
All right, you're standing at their side, and Sweet Tooth, are you walking up as well?
Yes.
Okay. The guards are all looking a little bit confused and maybe curious at this Lizardfolk, who's also apparently working at the same bank and wears the same uniform. It's not even really like a uniform, it's just kind of this guy's clothes, so wearing the exact same outfit as the banker. But they look at you, and one of them kind of comes up, I thought we were going to take care of it.
You fools. There's nothing you can do. Get out. Go and go watch the front.
But you just told us a minute ago.
I know what I said. I called for some professionals. I got a good deal from that cheap buffoon wizard.
We're better than those Bartholomew idiots. And he kind of looks a little bit sad. Captain, do you agree with this? Looking to you now, Adrien.
Yeah, I just shrug, you know that look, money talks, you know.
All right, go ahead and
think of it this way: you're getting paid the same to just stand at the front.
He looks at you, Sweet Tooth. Who's this?
I come from another branch. I've come in because I'm one of the accountants, a bin counter, if you will.
All right. I would like all of you to make a deception check. I need 2 of you to succeed. Wait, Sparky, you're just hiding in the background. How do you help? So if you can convince me on this one, I'll give it to you, Sparky. But you're gonna have to really sell me, Pete, on how you make this deception check.
Well, the idea here is Sparky, like, you should listen to him. He's really smart. I know. My daddy is one of the smartest people at the bank, and you should trust him.
Oh no! If he used the power, oh come on! He's using the power of cuteness.
Yeah, and he kind of looks. He kind of looks down at the kid, and you can see he was starting to get angry. But you kind of like walk out of the corner, and he was like, "I swear to fuck," and he's about to swear. It sounds like, and then he looks down and sees you kind of like pop out and say this. He goes, "Yeah, all right, let's." You heard him, everyone. And he kind of looks at you, Adrien, one more time and gives like a "I don't like this" kind of look to you.
I just nod.
And he kind of steps out and goes to guard the entrance, along with the other like 5 guards that are here, and you hear a couple of grumbles. And some of them are also kind of relieved, it seems like, to not have to deal with what's down there, whatever that may be. And after a few moments, they look toward... they look towards you. They look towards you, Misra, and goes, "Wants to take your son out of here. It's probably a little dangerous for him to be hanging around, don't you think?"
He will be fine. Like I said, Bartholomew is sending some of his adventures. Everything should be fine. If things get too risky, we will come out.
They turn and they leave. A little bit, again, a little bit thrown off by the whole exchange, but nothing too terrible. By the way, what did you guys end up doing with those bodies?
I think someone bonfired them.
Yeah.
That's what that create bonfire was.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So we bonfired them and then prestidigitationed the soil away.
I don't know if that second part's true because I don't see it. I don't see it on the log. But you bonfired them. At least,
I
so
had a nibble
better
as
than nothing.
well.
Y'all are now alone in the mine. What would you like to do?
I dropped the illusion. I look over at Sparky and I'm like, that was brilliant.
I turn back into Boris and say, "Shiny Buttons, we should continue deeper into the mine."
I also ruffle Sparky's hair affectionately.
Aw. Shiny Buttons. All right, well, yeah, it's right down there. That's the spot. They're saying there's some kind of scary monster down there, though, and Shiny Buttons not sure how it feels about that. Dealt with a lot of monsters in my day, but never liked doing it.
Maybe the scary monster has stuff on it that's worth a lot of money.
I have an idea. You let me borrow your blue suede shoes and denim jeans, and I'll go fight it.
You want me to? I mean, you suit yourself. He hands you over his diamond leggings and shoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put them on.
All right, they're rock solid. You have no idea how you're supposed to move around in these. They're just, as you put them on, your legs just become stationary.
Maybe you just get on the ground and roll.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not very mobile. I don't like that about them.
I don't think that I have proficiency in this kind of armor.
No one does.
Maybe just the shoes.
I de-equip them and drag them out of my inventory.
All right, he takes them back. Told you, man. It's not very good. Well, anyway, Shiny Buttons kind of begins climbing down. Let's check it out. And he begins kind of hopping down. You see he's got a torch up, and he starts kind of, there's sconces along the wall to place torches in, and he lights a few torches and begins kind of lighting the area. And as he's walking around the space, those of you who are at the top here can see before he even gets to it, there is something kind of lurking around in the darkness. It's outside of the range of the light that he's kind of bringing to the cave here, and he can't quite make it out, it looks like, so he's unaware that it's there. But there's a big kind of like globular, almost like, it's just a big globular shape. It seems to have a few arms sticking off of it. You can also
I
hear like
grab-
you can hear like a grinding sound coming from it. Yeah, sorry, Misra, what were you gonna do?
Can I grab Shiny Buttons before he goes any further into that cave?
Yeah, so all of you kind of follow down and you reach over and Shiny Buttons is moving over to that area. Because what's that grinding noise? And you throw a hand on his shoulder and kind of make him stop.
I have an idea. And this is like a drop off that we're going down a ladder?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a ladder and then kind of a bit more of an open cavern. He goes, yeah, I mined into this. Thought there might be gold in here. Just sort of a natural area.
I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna throw these like 1 or 2 down. It worked last time on that little girl.
Oh, yeah, you toss down a couple of candy corn caltrops.
Yes.
That has a nice, oh man, that has a great mouthfeel to it. Candy corn caltrops.
Yes.
Kind of setting yourself up for anything that comes your way. What are the rest of you doing?
So it like spreads out and downwards, right?
Yes, it seems to. And the sound, that kind of like crunching noise, seems to be coming from up ahead.
I'm gonna take my iron bucket full of lava, put it in my hotbar, and
unfortunately, you don't have that.
I'm gonna place the lava.
We don't have
on the
rotten
ground,
zombie
and
flesh?
The lava's going to slowly pour down the side of this thing.
Creating light, you're saying?
I'm minor illusioning lava to slowly pour down the side.
Okay,
Of this
I got you.
thing.
And as you do this, you can kind of, as it begins to get closer, you get a better look at the creature that you can see up ahead. Would any of you like to make me, or all of you who feel like it, can go ahead and make me a nature check if you want to try and figure out what this is.
Yes.
Or Arcana if you're better at that. I'll let you pick.
They're
Arcana
equal.
or nature?
So Sparky, in some of your training and trying to kind of like gain a better control over your powers, you've learned about like the different elemental planes and stuff. And as the light kind of passes downwards, you see this creature illuminated, and it looks something like an earth elemental. It's got like rocky skin and one big eye, and then these arms that are kind of reaching out from it in different directions. It's very like bulbous. And you recognize it as a Zorn. It looks a lot smaller than a lot of the Zorn that you've heard about are supposed to be. Maybe this is like a baby one or something. But as the lava kind of begins to illuminate it, it reaches out and just digs into the wall, and you see it just pull out of the wall a big chunk of gold and put it into its mouth, and it starts crushing, kind of crunching on it. And as this happens and the light from the lava kind of illuminates and you're all able to see this, you hear Shiny Buttons just call out, "No!" As this thing seems to be just eating the gold in this mine. And as the lava kind of flows down, the Zorn doesn't seem to move, and the illusion just passes over it. Like it doesn't register the lava as even seeming to be there.
As the lava hits him, I do create bonfire. Suddenly the illusion is real, right?
Oh no! I'd like you to roll for initiative in that case.
Okay.
And I'll let him pick a dexterity saving throw. As everyone knows, Zorns are extremely dexterous.
Nice.
I assume that is a failure. Yeah. Nice. He takes 4 points of burn damage. As the lava kind of comes down and begins to scorch the bottom of it, and you hear the creature just kind of... That's going to... Oh, also the Zorn's got to roll on his own initiative. Oh no!
Oh Lord.
Oh no! The first to act in this initiative is going to be you, Sparky. The lava kind of courses over them, and then like a delayed reaction, weirdly, you see this Zorn start to get hurt like a few moments into it. What would you like to do, Sparky? Oh no. Yeah, Sparky, what would you like to do?
I point at the Zorn and I say, "Ding dong."
Okay. The Zorn's going to make a wisdom saving throw against your necrotic effect here, and they're going to fail that, taking 6 points of necrotic damage. which they don't enjoy taking. What is going on with my music right now? Are you guys able to hear music?
I cannot.
I am.
That's strange. Something funky.
I think it's probably my weirdness with my headphones. So the fact, discount the fact that I can't hear music because
it's working for me now as well.
I can hear it.
Great. All right, yeah. So you kind of ring this bell, and you see it kind of its head begins to kind of shake and move about as it's struck by this necrotic damage. The next in initiative is going to be Misra. Nope. Adrien, what would you like to do, Adrien?
Is it smaller than 5x5?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to make a cage around it so that it cannot leave the bonfire.
Out of illusion.
Yeah, so I say, suddenly the Zorn falls trapped to my force cage, as I am a much more powerful wizard than this Zorn has ever seen.
Shiny Buttons goes, whoa, you know force cage? I didn't know I was getting the real pros. The Zorn, you see, is still kind of standing there, and one of its arms just kind of like moves through the bars as it's just kind of like flitting about. But it's technically currently entrapped in this cage. As we move next in initiative, now it is Misra.
I'm kind of looking over at Adrien and thinking in my head, you know, in my lands, we have words for people like you. But other than that, I am
What
going
kind of
to
Game Master? Dungeon Master?
we'll talk about that later. But since we're having a little bit of fun, Eldritch Blast.
Go ahead and roll me that attack roll.
Nice.
You haven't rolled the attack. You still have to roll the hit.
Oh. Okay, hold up. Crap. Wait. Yeah. See, this is not working on this. Hold up. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. It's not showing up on my thing.
Oh, for now, just roll me the just roll it manually in chat.
Okay.
Yeah, D20, and then we'll add your
Efficiency.
We'll add your spell attack, which is 5 for you.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you guys about that. Where'd it go? Thank you. There.
All right, so +5, so that's an 18 is going to hit, and it takes 9 points of damage as the Eldritch Blast zips forward and crashes into the rocky skin. Pieces of it break and crumble away as this Zorn is still kind of struggling. We move next in initiative to Swee. Toof. What would you like to do, Swee?
How far away is this thing?
You can run up to it, no problem. It's only 25 feet.
No, I'm on top and it's down below.
I assumed that you climbed down with everyone else.
No, I didn't climb down with everyone. If I didn't, how far away would it be from like the top to the bottom?
It would be a pretty good. You guys have like moved a little bit into this cave, so it would be like 100 feet.
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so. So you can just run up to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna totally run up to it.
Yeah.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
There it is, still true to this day. Oh my goodness, it's particularly true as you land a critical strike. Roll me that crit damage.
Plus, because I am a swashbuckler, booyah!
Yeah, you get the sneak attack and roll it twice. You get double sneak attack.
Jesus Christ, that is
16, 23 points of damage as you bring your candy cane dagger, which you would assume that the candy cane was weaker than the stone and would break, but not enchanted candy cane, as it stabs into him and bits of him kind of crumble and crash away as you find like a weak point, and the Zorn like roars out once more in terrible pain from this massive blow.
I'm also going to use fancy footwork. Boom. I'm going to move 15 feet away.
Okay.
Without invoking an opportunity attack.
Very good. In that case, it's the Zorn's turn, and the Zorn just looks at you, Sweet Tooth, and you watch as he just kind of sinks down into the ground, and then is going to. You just see as the baby Zorn sinks into the earth, and then just pops out of the ground behind you, and the earth isn't even moved as it does this. It just seems to like displace the earth only temporarily, and it like molds around itself. And they're going to make a whole bunch of attacks against you. They have 3 arms. Oh, geez, that's a 22.
It's
an 8, a 12.
No.
And then they're going to try and bite you. So only the 22 hits.
Only the 22.
All right, 3 arms claw at you and try and bring you down, and then its big jaws that are able to break through rock go to pierce down. You deftly dodge all but one of the strikes as you take 4 points of slashing damage.
You gotta be faster than that.
That's all for the baby Zorn. We move next in initiative to the top, which was Sparky. What do you want to do, Sparky?
He seems a little stronger than I maybe thought. So I think I'll try this one, and kind of flicks Nexier out towards the Zorn and casts this spell.
Ooh, 21 is a good hit. You guys are rolling really well.
Nice.
This guy's got a pretty good armor class, too. Oh my god! That's a nice guiding bolt. As you hit for 18 points of damage, another radiant blast pierces forward and kind of explodes out from the Zorn's form. They are getting kind of broken apart in pieces, and they're having kind of like a hard time walking at this point. Shiny Buttons kind of calls out, "Yeah, get him! He's almost done beating him up!"
And the next attack roll has advantage against him.
The next attack against him has advantage. It seems to have passed directly through your forced cage, Adrien P. Or Adrien, as we move next to your turn. Adrien G, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of looking disheartened that the Zorn doesn't want to roleplay. Adrien kind of looks down, takes out a dice, rolls it at crotch level, and shoots it at the Zorn.
The universal Galanodal. Going to make a dex save. Yes.
Throw, DC 13.
And what type of damage does this do?
Bludgeoning.
Yeah.
The Zorn is resistant to piercing and slashing, but not bludgeoning. As we are going to fail. Go ahead and roll me that catapult damage. 11 points of damage. Another crash, another explosion of rock. This thing's getting beat up real quick. They've taken an immense amount of damage as we move next in initiative as you hit him with this dice to Misra.
Not to be outdone by a measly catapult, I cast Witch Bolt, which
just do the same thing. D20 plus 5.
No, I saw a note. Sorry.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 8. The Witch Bolt flies forward. You have advantage on the attack roll because of the...
that's right.
So go ahead and try it again. 18 is going to hit. Roll me that D12 plus 3 damage.
D12.
Oh!
Ooh!
15 points of damage as the Witch Bolt lashes out, creating a lashing connection of lightning that arcs through the air and continues to be connected to the Zorn as more bits and pieces of rock. The creature is on its absolute last legs as we move now to you, Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth.
Advantage correct?
You no longer do. The guiding bolt has been consumed.
Well, it's time to die.
14 is actually going to miss. You go and swipe in, and the hardened stone of this creature's form, it's almost like they have very hard armor, but you guys have gotten extremely good on every attack so far, as it kind of harmlessly gets knocked away. Anything else on your turn, Sweet Tooth?
Some of them emeralds I had in my pocket, I'm going to just kind of throw them just random direction.
Go ahead and make me a animal handling check.
Okay.
See if he's more. He's not more distracted by your emeralds at the moment than he is by you.
It tastes like dirt.
And he's going to unleash the same bevy of attacks against you that he did before. 15.
Hit.
21.
Hit.
Are you still up?
Oh, yeah, I'm more than up.
And then all right, yeah. That's going to miss. As you take another 8 points of damage, just 2 more claws rake into you. And that's all for the baby Zorn's turn as we move back around to you, Sparky, again. This thing is really close to falling. What do you want to do, Sparky?
I'm going to bring another bell at him.
Wisdom saving throw. He's going to fail, taking 3 points of necrotic damage. And unfortunately, that 3 points is not quite enough. You're really close. But the Zorn's still hanging on as it has its 3 arms like holding its head from the terrible sound of the bell. We move next in initiative to Adrien. They're gonna make a dex save.
Oh my god.
They fail. roll that damage. The Zorn does not move quickly. 4 points of fire damage. Would you care to describe the killing blow on the baby Zorn?
Since the Zorn did not want to play by the rules set forth by the DM, I shall have to burn their character sheet up in front of them.
Sort of a rocks fall and everyone dies scenario, huh?
Yes.
Yep.
In that case, as you burn their character sheet up in front of them, from beneath the ground, the bonfire erupts, and from the heat of the lightning and all of the pressure, it kind of like builds up inside, and you watch as the baby Zorn just explodes. And as they do so, all the gold that they'd been consuming but had not digested yet, kind of just begins erupting into the air, and you hear as Shiny Buttons begins to just kind of like cheer and holler at
there's gold in them there fires.
Exactly, as there's gold in them there. There's gold in them there fires.
Smelted, so they come out as gold.
It was a smelting accident.
And Shiny Buttons is just kind of like running around and like collecting all the gold, and he picks it up. He's like, ah, ha, ha, whoa, but there's gold, so much gold everywhere. Oh, this is more than enough to buy back my mine. This is enough to buy back my mine and put down the down payment and take out a loan on a second mine.
Shiny Buttons, maybe consider keeping the gold and instead selling these. And I gesture at the gems. To you, may be worthless, however, to bank, very valuable.
I'll look into that, but I don't think I'm skeptical to say the least. But I guess we'll have to check it out over time.
You remember those villagers we were doing trading with?
Nope, never did that. I think that's canonical. Never did that before. But let's pick up this gold and get on out of here. And you watch
This was pocketing some of it.
Mr. Buttons, if you do reacquire this mine, I have a friend that would definitely like to be in touch. Here's his card. And then I hand a card of one Mr. Baron Loot and Plunder.
I'll have to talk to my partner, Crinkle Carl, about this, but I'll see what I can do. Perhaps
sure
we'll have business.
Conditions.
And he takes your card, and as you're kind of exiting, you watch as point of order, the part of the Zorn that had the eye on it, it seems to like still be alive, and it begins running away on like tiny little legs. It's really little here, because this Zorn was a baby and is a kid, and therefore can't be killed. Canonically, the babies can't die. So the Zord runs away, and the rest of you begin working your way out of the mine with Shiny Buttons, right?
I thought it was only orphans that were immortal.
No, kids are immortal
children.
in due time. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Children of all ages.
So many orphan children are immortal by these squares and rectangles property. Yeah, you guys begin hopping out of the mine. As you get to the end, you're able to kind of get past the guards there who say they're kind of like skeptical, like, wait, I thought you were gonna get Bartholomew's Adventures in here for that or something.
On the way out,
Bartholomew's Adventures, you idiot.
I'm totally gonna take some of those shiny rock as samples for my friend, since obviously Shiny Buttons doesn't care about those.
All right, yeah, you absolutely do this. Eventually you see Shiny Buttons kind of goes over to the bank. The sun's kind of coming up and then the day is starting as you leave the mine. And he slaps down a big pile of gold on the counter of the bank and he just kind of goes, then he takes it back and he goes, wait a moment, I want to try something out. And he puts some of those diamonds up there and goes, paid for? And the person working the teller kind of looks over his property and goes, yes, and your change, and hands him a big pile of gold. And Shiny Buttons goes, this is incredible! We did it! Thank you all so much for all your assistance in reclaiming what is rightfully mine.
And I'm dragging a huge burlap sack full of those shiny rocks that he didn't care about.
Yeah, apparently those are pretty good. Banks like them. I don't know why, but if you ever have a problem with the bank, you can bring them to them. But I guess I owe you some of this dumb paper money. And he hands each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks. Each of you gain a point of experience, which means if you were level 1, you are now level 2. And with that, you've successfully helped Shiny Buttons, and this adventure comes to a close. Thank you for playing, guys.
Yay.
Thank you.
Which brings me to my next question, which is, would any of you like to visit the shop?
Yes.
Oh, a lot of yeses. In that case, away we go. If you need a magic item, you know where to stop. Just head on down. It's your only choice to Bartholomew's shop. Boo. And Bartholomew says, greetings, adventurers. I trust everything went well with Mr. Buttons.
See you later, Pete. Thanks for the game.
Anytime. Thanks for playing Switch. Bartholomew goes, yes, so what is it that you would like to purchase at this time?
Ladies first.
After you.
Oh.
Yes,
I didn't
Misra.
realize that. But before we do anything else, did you ever figure out what spell you were casting that sent me here?
No. I have not thought about it, but once I remember to think about it, I'm sure I'll have the information instantly.
I see why Sataria doesn't like you.
Yes,
Fine, I want a bag pull.
this can be easily done. And give me just a moment, or go ahead and roll me a D1000 while I make sure that that is up, so that I can look at what you get.
Do it.
And I wish you, as always, and as I do everyone, only the absolute best of luck.
What was the code? What was the
D1000 is what we're looking for. D1000.
Oh, come on, computer.
What?
Lovely. My computer gets froze on me. Can someone roll for me, please?
I can roll for you if you just give me a moment.
Sure.
I will do that. All right. Let's see what you got. D1000. So 792. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So you reach into the bag and you find within, your hand passes over first what appears to be, it appears to be some type of sword or a weapon, which doesn't quite interest you. Then what looks like it's some type of very heavy armor, maybe a plate of some kind, and then what you end up pulling out, it appears to be a charm, one of the charms from the kind of side item, the side section that Roger runs. It looks like there's a few of them in the bag as well. And as you pull it out, the one here is a. It appears to be a charm of otherworldly might, but it is a tiny black crystal. It vibrates. It's obsidian crystal. And Bartholomew speaks up, this is a powerful item that when put on a glamored arcane focus would, or I suppose in a weapon, would allow you to deal additional necrotic damage with your attack rolls. And you reach in the bag and you find a charm of otherworldly might, which gives you extra necrotic damage on your attacks, and also can be stacked with up to 2 other charms. So it has a lot of room to grow as well. So you've gotten the charm of otherworldly might, obsidian. Is there anything else I can get for you?
Nope. I'm good.
In that case, we move next to Mr. Plunderloot. What would you like to buy?
I would like baubles from the bag.
Go ahead and roll me a D1000, and I wish you the best of luck.
996. 636 is good enough.
636. Not what you were hoping for, but not a bad roll by any means.
No, it is not.
All right, you reach into the bag. I'm sorry, can you tell me that number again?
636.
All right. Your hand passes over first what appears to be a blade of some kind, a katana, perhaps, and then a belt. You're not sure what the belt is, but what you end up grabbing is a weapon. It appears to be a whip. Actually, Sweet Toof could use a whip. That's pretty cool. It looks like it's made from like a weeping willow branch, but there's like crushed gemstones embedded into it that look like teardrops. And Bartholomew speaks up, this is the Whip of Bitter Weeping. This was created by Ian Grimm. This was created by Ian Grimm 9. Thank you very much for the submission, Ian Grimm. And Bartholomew speaks up, you gain an additional +2 bonus to your attack and damage rolls made with it. Additionally, once per turn, when you hit a creature with it, you can bane them, but just a single target thing, which happens until you until you hit someone else with it. So you can't have multiple banes at the same time. And if someone succeeds, they're immune to it. But you've gotten the Whip of Bitter Weeping, which is a pretty powerful whip.
I would call it the Whip of Sweetener Weeping. Yes.
Very good. Anyone else?
Mr. Bartholomew?
Yes.
I have this, and can I get anything for this? And he holds out the Dungeon Master's trading card number 9 Mind Flayer.
Oh, yes. If you'd like to trade it in, you could swap it out for another bagpull, or you could try and collect them all, so to speak, which may have an interesting effect if you are able to do so.
I think I want to try this bag thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and give it a roll.
Holy crap!
That is
How do you do that? How do you do that?
That is statistically unlikely.
Oh my god! Wow! That's a first. That is a first in this game.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened before.
Ever.
You reach into the bag, and your hand passes over first. A lot of similar things to what Plunder's hand I just described passing over, which I can no longer remember, but just know that they were the same things. But since the Whip of Bitter Weeping is now gone, what you grab instead, it appears to be it appears to be a lute of some kind. As you pull it out, it looks like it's maybe like a bardic instrument or something. But Bartholomew speaks up. This is an interesting item. It is the lute of shattering sound. You're looking at it. It looks like it's almost more of like an electric guitar in its shape. It's kind of a strange looking lute, certainly. And Bartholomew speaks, if you know how to use a lute, you can use an action to cast the shatter spell at a higher level. From this lute, once per day, it'll explode outward, creating magnificent noise. So you've gained that lute. And Bartholomew speaks up, and it does not require you to be a bard, just to know how to play the lute. And with that, I can't imagine anyone else has anything they'd like to do.
Nope.
As we are going to be right back in that case. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back shortly with our second adventure of the evening. See you all very soon.
Come on.